Kadlanan sa mumatay opening ceremony. I ask that we start our opening ceremony. With that, I would like to recognize the Vice Speaker, Mikel, for the welcoming remarks.
Kalangan maing speaker ay tungol sa karmasik kay bani taan kubran wasal balap soksalang non-markian wen kiti puligawaw ereksyon Pohnpei ay tungol sa karataan walap taan kubran nanalek puligawaw sa volume ang kalaban Pohnpei Raraiso unsak mapataban kubur. Ibarawan waunagi. Honorable President Kony, speakers of the 4 states of the Federation, my humble respects. Vice speakers, honorable senators, Ibarawan waunagi, acting governor and Pohnpei, Madam Mobik, Songkobong Labalab and Wayne Pohnpei. Ay tumalwaw and took a Speaker and Congress Namaton Chetu, Honorable Congressman Alfonso, Honorable Congressman Mudo. My deep and humble respect to the diplomatic corps, Your Excellency the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, the United States of America, the Republic of Japan, and Australia. My deep respect and welcome. Ibarawan waunagi, Cabinet members, members of the 11th Pohnpei Legislature, Kaninay, Melil, John Pohnpei, Nawiyayang ang suwan rano. Monsap, ragatil labtigding, ukat nan kasarawian rano. Kat kiyang intari, pakapay kamor, and kakmiyawa, sang ni panapatwot, all for us. United, we stand. On behalf of the traditional leaders, the good people of Pohnpei, the Speaker, and the members of the 11th Legislature, Madam Acting Governor, Chief Justice, we welcome you to Pohnpei. Be part of us and being Pohnpei citizens in your soul. Kamagaran, Kinisaw, Kulo, and of course, Kalang. Thank you.
Kalangan Vice Speaker Mikel, thank you Vice Speaker Mikel. Medtreban Kadlanan, posting of colors. Our next agenda is posting of colors. And may I invite the Department of Public Safety.
Order. March. Keep ready. Up. Peace. Forward. March. March down. March. Good. Out. Out. Peace. March.
Kailangan din sabulmatayin police officer ka. Thank you, men in blue, and the choir group from Matalanim, St. Ben group. Thank you. Kailangan din kumpramay. Vice Speaker.
Kailangan, my Speaker, it is customary that we will ask blessing before it. Ang susunod naman, Patuan Luka Patre, ang nilolo. Speaker,
Hey,
a very slight change. May I ask that we ask Reverend Edgar to say the prayer.
kailangan 5.
On Pohnpei to share.
Senator Edgar, which is also a reverend, will be delivering the invocation.
Sabang kasi na lolo, babato sa raman dyan, padong pagi, walang sawas ng kubot. Bang samat kot at tubit kalanan. Yet pi sabulmar pining kukutulit, yung agapit ralakan, labalabagan na tetap. May isog siyalan, natapoy, katuat. Yung agi sabulmar labalabdekan. Barawan sa karayot, Kadkadaur na nakuya siya na lang wat mereka kalua kat bilang nam lelaki inseknya ini sekarang ini nanti patong kamera nanti ini dekat di sabun man ke mana-mana nanti aramat kasirian soalan ke sabun man ini kamera nanti ini nanti mati yang dipatakan ketika sabun mar jeros tengkak uputi o laudla o natala tengka kulianti nen tumpen si patakan dari kita daung kena main samat kot dalam rebuka kita daung kaping ki pwede yan katin oke at iya kubur di bena karos yan pasangka kan eu pene o kasan itu kasan tikan datang kat sewaje Legislature, Pwuhng ko Senate, ng state tayo na open around. That is ang captain di pwede sa main sa matko na ba. Sa kabiyata will kapakunuwat sa ngayo. Captain di mura sa janja. Ay met ni Patuan William Tuxi o sa karagin sa ang kubot kot ni jaraw. Amen.
Kailangan isunalaim Reverend Edgar. Ang so kasit, Monsap, Pwuhng Kaul and Sanban, Mesang Ban Kuburan Monsap Labanmar, Paanapolpan Wasalawala Pispaw, Paan Patuan Waya Kaul Pat, what? Mapitata Pohnpei, Amawa, Honorable President, Honorable Speakers, let me introduce the choir that will sing a song is about the history of Pohnpei. They're from Sunburn, Millennium. Our brothers, honorable speakers, and colleagues, members from Kosrae. In 1441, under the ruler of Kadkadaur, there is problem with the citizens and the people of Pohnpei at that time. A young man came down from Kosrae with 332, plus him 333, a plan to conquer Kadkadaur of Pohnpei. His name is Isokalakal. He came down with the assistance of Sunburn. You may wonder, their accent almost like Kosraean when they're singing. They helped Isokalakal to conquer Kadkadaur. And he conquered Kadkadaur. And that was the first non-monarchy. A kingdom started. He was anointed to be the first non-monarchy of Pohnpei. Isokalakal of Kosrae. Now Pohnpei changed into 5 kingdoms. But before only one, by Isokalakal. The wife, now they still call the wife of the non-monarchy of Millennium, Pwuhng, Likan Kalakal. So they will sing a song, a number. It's about the history. Our coming together today is not just a beginning. We're continuing the success of the past accomplishments in the old days. Let's put our hearts, our mind together to be one. Sunburn, one.
Apa lai kari nai kamera
Kailangan ka mo mga speaker. Monsap, to kanisuot. Your Honorable President, speakers, and the esteemed members of the legislatures throughout the Federation. I am very proud and honored to introduce the one and only female elected to be the Lieutenant Governor of Pohnpei State. And it is history for the whole Federation. It is an honor to welcome Madam Eroline S. Movic, the acting governor of Pohnpei State, to deliver the welcoming remarks. Madam Acting Governor.
Kalanganin kami Vice, and I feel so honored and so humbled by the introduction, and I'm always very pleased and very, very honored to be surrounded by so many men. Muna ibantaw lang na itungol sa karata. Muna sa kampatin ko po ako niyo ay tumalagisan ko. Alangan. Pwuhng. Oh wow! and Patong Samatrail Court, Weki met Lingan Ranwood, so long at Chapi Tatok Ranwood, Kareta, e Uyalar talk Lingan you, o talk wow you. Kaipani, Pan Kupuran Rakso and Pohnpei you, Waunki Melel Kotian so long nan Markian Wayne Kitty, Hisonan ko, the Conco, Nana Lagan Wayne Kitty, Patong Child Ranwood. Oh, I tungal wow. Ban ko prani so nan kan ko. Oh, labalap kay tikan ko Rusya. May Patong Child Ranwood. I tungal wow. Ban ko pran Kopna and Wayne Pohnpei. The Honorable Stephenson A. Joseph, I tungal wow, and Bill Tokas on Kopung Labalap and Wayne Pohnpei. Honorable Joseph A. Nelson. I tungal wow, and Bill Tokas, Speaker in Congress, the young Patong Child Ranwood. Congresswoman Perlina Pelo, and Congressman Jeremy Mutong. My respects to the Diplomatic Corps, the Dean of Diplomatic Corps, His Excellency Wu Wei, U.S. Ambassador Jennifer Johnson, Australian Ambassador Jenny Grant, and His Excellency Nobuo Takomiya, Ambassador of Japan to the FSM. My respect to the Speaker, I tungal wow, or respect on Speaker of the Pohnpei State Legislature, Honorable Marvin Yamanguchi, Vice Speaker Akari Mikael, Floor Leader Hudson Hebram, and members of the 11th Legislature. My respects to the leadership from the Yap State Legislature, Speaker Honorable Nicholas Fikir Larwon, Floor Leader Honorable Terence R. Pwuhng, and members of the legislature from the state of Yap. My tiro and respects to the delegation from Chuuk, which used to be my second home when I was in high school. President of the House of Senate, Honorable Arno Coney, Vice President of the House of Senate, Honorable Wisni Nakayama, Floor Leader of the House of Senate, Honorable Andrel C. Yamamoto, Speaker from the House of Representatives, Honorable Lester T. Mersai, Floor Leader from the House of Representatives, Honorable Wayne Olap, and your delegation from Chuuk. My respects to the leadership from Kosrae State Legislature, Speaker Honorable Simeon J. Philip, and Vice Speaker Honorable Salvazar E. Tilpes, and your delegation from the state of Kosrae. Bonosa o Kosomo, Koros, Patong, Kochti, and Ranwood. It is my privilege and honor and a pleasure to welcome you all to the beautiful island of Pohnpei, home of the Nanmadol ruins, a World Heritage Site, which should be a must on your to-do list while you are here. They say, if you come to Pohnpei and did not visit the Nanmadol ruins, then you have not been to Pohnpei. So please take time out of your busy schedule to visit Nanmadol and the beautiful waterfalls and the sites that we have in Pohnpei. It is indeed an honor standing here before you this morning to be a part of this auspicious occasion, the coming together of the legislative leadership of the 4 FSM states in a newly formed organization called the Association of Legislature Leadership for the Unity of the States, the acronym ALL4US. And being a senator in this legislature not too long ago, I look forward with great interest to see how this purpose will unfold. In any case, it is encouraging to see the leaderships of the 5 legislative bodies of the 4 FSM states coming together to discuss issues of common interest And I say 5 because Chuuk has the House of Representatives and the Senate. We have meetings of the chief executives, state and national leadership, and while APIL is a very useful forum to discuss regional legislative issues, it is most appropriate and fitting that we also have a meeting of the FSM state legislative leaderships to discuss our own FSM-centered legislative issues and needs. I understand that this meeting is to promote unity, cooperation, and coordination amongst our states' legislative bodies. That is a serious and timely issue for all 4 states. Our governments, but let's not forget, our governments are shaped by our constitutions. National and state constitutions set out the rules and roles and responsibilities of each state and the national government, as well as each branch and level of government. The recent Constitutional Convention and the slate of amendments that were adopted by the people is full proof of the robustness and richness of our national spirit and unity. Perhaps in the fullness of time, perhaps, this body may also encompass the leadership of the National Congress, as it is clear that we need all levels and branches of our government system to work together in unity to effectively address the needs and aspirations of our people of the FSM. As Henry Ford wisely puts it, coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. Kaway to masan ng Pohnpei, unity na katail kin masani da batawan ni Pohnpei kaminimin. Tan kin chopsang, tan atitail ka, akatail ap taula liki. Ay tungol kaway. So while your discussions will no doubt be interesting and useful, I hope that it won't be all work. Please take time to enjoy what Pohnpei has to offer. Speaker, please don't host too many functions so these guys can spend their per diem with other businesses in Pohnpei. I have no doubt that your hosts in Pohnpei will seek to ensure that you have a good and memorable time here. Please enjoy that hospitality, but then please also spend all of your per diem here to buy gifts to take back to your families and colleagues back home. And I wish you all a successful and fruitful meeting. Kamakar, kilisaw chapur, kulo, kalangan, erera ito sa karata, kalangan.
Speaker, kalangan kami, batuan kami dalam program and run with our program. The opening ceremony is done. And now I will yield the floor back to you, Honorable Speaker, as a temporary president of this August body. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I ask that we have a short recess. A short recess.
So be it. 2 minutes break. Uwe, imen mulian tayo ito kapag ang acting governor po siya karatang mga mamiya. Kailangan ng promi. Ni wow menuli anti poining ko kusunet kaysa kayo o melal uya sa bulamatay sa karatan kapeng o kay po ni pang kupuran na nilap sa karan kay po ni uwawlap pang kupuran na raksyoko wawan ko usyoko wawan ko sa bulimarlikan ko nalalang ko naan kaniyay ko waw toro rong labalap kay ti paliyan triyak mamotso government wawan ki melal acting governor Haralin Movic mayang patayang train may sangat wawan ko siyong kupong labalap Nelson Joseph o yang amusyong kupungkan paros labalaban FSM National Government mayang patayang tribe wawan ki melal iray labalaban way taken mayang patayang tribe. My respect to the Honorable President Coney, President of House of Senate. My respect to the Speaker Mersai, Speaker of Chuuk House of Representatives, and my respect to the whole delegation, my brothers and sisters from Chuuk State. My respect to the Speaker, Simeon Philip, Vice Speaker, and your honorable colleagues. My respect to Speaker Nicholas Perlongwang, Vice Speaker, even though he's not with us today, my respect to him, Floor Leader, the honorable senators from our state of Yap, and all of those senators that are with us this morning, my respect to you all. My respect to all the participants that have joined us this morning and are still with us. My respect to our Vice Speaker, Floor Leader, and members of the 11th Legislature. I ask that we proceed with our meeting this morning. With that said, I would like to recognize in front of me is our Secretariat, Carl Edgar will be assisting us, and Assistant Secretariat Loyoshi Edward. I ask that Ms. Edward do the roll call.
FSM State Staff Kosrae, FSM State Staff Yap, FSM State Staff Chuuk, FSM State Staff Pohnpei.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, all the states are present.
Thank you, Ms. Edward. It seems like we're all present, so we can proceed with our session, our meeting this morning. With that said, I ask that we do our opening remarks by the member delegations. I would like to recognize the state of Kosrae for the first opening remark. Speaker Simeon Philip.
Hello, Malalap. Speaker Yamaguchi. You know, I don't know if that short 2-minute break was a good thing, or now I have to do a lot of changes to my prepared statement because most of the people in the gallery are now not with us. But I was hoping that the choir that was entertaining us would still be in the gallery, because I was meaning to thank them for their very good harmonious singing. Before the program started, Vice Speaker Mikhail approached me and told me that about this group, how that they are from their village, and then he went on to tell the story about the Isakelekel. And now that the people from that place tend to sing almost like Kosraeans. I know he was meaning to say almost as good as Kosraeans. But now that I have heard them sing, I would like to put on the record that they do sing better than Kosraeans. So I thank them. Before I start my brief opening remarks, I would like to, in the spirit of the prayer that was offered, and as is our religious traditions here in Micronesia, I would like to thank God Almighty for all the blessings that He has graced us with, for giving us who have traveled from the states of Yap, Chuuk and Kosrae, safe traveling mercies to be able to make it out here to beautiful Pohnpei, and for all the blessings that He has bestowed upon the people and the land of Pohnpei. I don't know if we still have traditional leaders in the gallery, but I would like to pay my respects to them nonetheless. Thank them for, I could tell from sitting at last night's welcoming program that they are very much involved in the efforts leading up to yesterday, and I know they will be involved from today on until the conclusion of our meetings here in Pohnpei. So I would like to pay my respects to them. My respects to the acting governor, although she has stepped out. My respect to you, Speaker Yamaguchi, Vice Speaker Mikhail, Floor Leader Abraham, and the honorable members of the Pohnpei State Legislature. My respects to President Kony, Vice Speaker Kosrae, and the members of your delegation, Vice President Nagayama and Vice Speaker May, and the entire members of the Chuuk State Delegation. My respects to you, Speaker Lawan, and the members of the Yap State Delegation. I would also like to pay my respects to the honorable mayors of the municipalities of the state of Pohnpei who may be still with us at this time. I would also pay my respects to, although they have already stepped out, members of the diplomatic corps who were here with us earlier. And of course, my respects to Speaker Moses, who was also with us earlier, and several of his colleagues, members of the FSM Congress who were with us. My respects also to the people of Pohnpei and everyone who is here with us this morning. Kailangan for welcoming us to your shores, Mr. Speaker, and for allowing us to hold this first meeting of the legislative leaderships of the 4 FSM states here in your beautiful island. It is indeed a special occasion when we as leaders from the legislative side of our state governments come together, even if just simply learn from one another and to share our common aspirations to better serve our respective peoples from the legislative halls of each of our states. And so I would like to thank Speaker Yamaguchi and all members of the Pohnpei State Legislature for having spearheaded this effort, even volunteering to be hosting the first All4US meeting. The name All4US, what it implies, chimes a special call to all of us to work in concert with one another for the common good of all the people in the 4 states of this federation. As the smallest state, we are keenly aware of the adversities that we face when it comes to the distribution of funding resources available to the 4 states and the national government. You, the leaders from our 3 sister states, have demonstrated in the recent past that you see our struggles, you understand our struggles, and are very committed to work with us to better address them. This was made very evident to us when you took us in on the joint effort to reach out and have the voters of this nation accept the fishing fees amendments. That beautifully exemplifies what we as state leaders from the legislative side can do when we work together. While we see that our working together has resulted in the passing of the fishing fees amendments, we all share the dismay that the setback that subsequently followed when the Arangel formula was not honored. And so, Kosrae would like to thank the state of Pohnpei for once again taking the lead in seeking judicial resolution to that matter. While we from Kosrae are seemingly standing idly by, we know that your efforts are all for us. So if there is any way that we from Kosrae, in whatever small way we can, let us know. We would like also to thank our friends from the state of Yap for leading the effort for us all to be able to tap into the Compact Trust Fund to make up for the absence of the inflationary adjustment provisions in the current compact. And if anything, what we can offer is for us, for this assembly, to perhaps come up with a joint resolution that we all can sign on to add more weight to what you have been championing. To our friends from the state of Chuuk, we look forward to learning from your successes. During the public sector reform program, they call it the PSRP, back in some more than 15 years ago, they did a survey around the 4 states on how they were performing in their revenue collections. Data came out indicating that Kosrae and Chuuk were averaging at the same percentage, 40% at that, 60% at the time. Shortly thereafter, Chuuk was able to increase its revenue collection to 80%. So we from Kosrae would like to learn from you what you have done to have been able to make that much improvement. So knowing all these efforts and successes by our 3 sister states, we from Kosrae trust that the formation of this assembly will greatly benefit us. Being from the same side of the government, we feel that we all can feel each other better and understand each other better. This assembly is not only a platform for us to have a unified voice on issues domestic to the FSM, it also accords us a perfect opportunity to perhaps share the same position at regional forums that we occasionally attend as separate states in this federation, like the APIL and the PIDB, or other forums that we go as separate individual states. We look at this as an assembly for us to be able to come together, put our minds together, and be able to speak the same language on most issues that we attend regionally. With that, I once again say Gulom Malalap to everyone, especially to the Pohnpei State Legislature, for putting in all the work necessary to see to it that we actually convene this first All4US meeting, and I wish us all success in our efforts. Thank you very much.
Speaker, thank you very much for the unified remarks. We appreciate it. Could I ask that you introduce the member of your delegation for our record?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It is my honor to introduce to you my delegation. Sitting to my right is the Vice Speaker Salbash Silves. To my immediate left is Senator Lena Ned, who is the chairman of the Legislature's Committee on Judiciary and Governmental Operations. To his left is Senator Archon Tale, who is the chairman of the Committee on Land and Municipal Affairs. We also have with us Senator Ramsey George, representing the people of Devonsa Municipality. And sitting in the gallery is Senator Sasaki George, representing the municipality of Malem. Three of us are coming in there, probably at the airport at the moment. Floor Leader Andy Andrew, Chairman Ali Isaac, and Senator Joshua Abraham. Hopefully they'll be able to join us at some time today or at the latest tomorrow's session. We do have with us a staff sitting with Senator George in the gallery, Mr. Paul Tulsier, a legal aid for the legislature. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Speaker Philip. May I ask that we put our hands together for the Speaker and his delegation from the state of Kosrae. Now I would like to recognize our state of Yap for the opening remarks. Speaker Nicholas Wang.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to everyone, all of you. My respect to the traditional chiefs who were so flattered yesterday evening. We witnessed, none of us seen the chief of Pohnpei. And as we know, it's not easy to see a chief unless you have the duties to see the chief. So with that, Mr. President and the 11th Pohnpei State Legislature, thank you all. It is quite an honor for all of us to witness that. And not only that, some of us were able to take the first sip of the traditional drink of Pohnpei, the sakao. Before I begin, let me introduce my delegation. And as you all can see, the commitment that we have with this All4US. On my far left, that's Senator Gabriel Romloluk. And he is the Vice Chairman of Resources, Education, and Development. And next to him on my left is Chairman Piyush Tilmesai. And on my right is our floor leader, Teres Pwuhng. And my far right is our chairman, of Government, Health and Welfare, Ms. Senator Victor Bamuk. We also have Senator John Taurel, who replaced John Masumay not too long ago. As you can see, in order for us as a state to move forward, I need Chairman Bamuk to make sure everything is in place. As a Chairman of Government, Health and Welfare, not to slow things down to the people of the state of Yap. And floor, make sure things are rolling accordingly within the chamber. And if one of us step off-road, bring them back to the rule of procedures. Here on my left, Chairman Pwuhng, we always want a fuel to move things forward. And he has the key for our bigger resources, the purse that we have. And on the far left, if we really need to move forward with something in mind, we need a chief navigator. So all of us representing the 5 election districts in the state of Yap. Chairman Victor Bamuk and I representing the main island, which is the at-large. And we have Vice Speaker Rutun, Chairman Mafal, Anna Marie Lamar, and Leon stay behind because of the DOD that Yap State definitely need your assistance. Mr. President, Connie, and all the speakers. Because we are at the forefront of what it's required in our compact with the United States. So with all due respect to each and every one of you, we need your assistance. A resolution that all of us, and I simply humbly ask you that Yap State already spent 200,000 for the retaining lawyer. As you know, Yap and Kosrae are the smallest state, small population who happen to have that expertise to deal with the United States and all the requirements that there are that needs to be looked at. So with that, we will discuss based on what Speaker Yamaguchi is our speaker here and he runs the show, but we humbly request your assistance on that. We also, I have to apologize, we bring our legal counsel here and we have only one person. It's a little different from other states. As you can see how limited we are in human resources. We have only one legal counsel, and that's Genevieve Mrek, who's happened to be working with Tom somewhere to make sure what we hope that all the 3 states can assist us with, maybe able to show it or have time to give it to you so you can review it before we can see the best approach to take, and that door is still open for your suggestion to us, because that is why we have all for us. We discuss and see how best we can move forward together. When I was young, as you all can see, I learned a word from Pohnpei, and I was wondering, and please don't get me wrong, the word is sauspena. When we're together, good things could happen. And we have a similar word of that in Yap. And that word is dabilul agapropri. Coconut oil would not slip through that if we really truly together on something. So I tend to love that word. And forgive me if I mispronounce it or I take it in put a wrong connotation to it. But with all due respect, That's my limited understanding to that word. And Father Kadkadaur, who happened to be the working at PATS, when he came to YAP, I tend to ask him the definition of that word. And one Yapese who very limited in English, and one American who doesn't know Yapese. So I don't know whether our definition will somehow connect or not. But to make it short, because we have Chuuk and we have Pohnpei here with us, and we want to also work closely and listen closely with them, it is an honor for all of us, the small delegation of YAP, to each and every one of you, especially the people of Pohnpei, Speaker and Vice Speaker, all the presiding chairmen and members of the 11th Legislature of Pohnpei. Thank you very much for hosting all of us. And we should thank the Lord for bringing us all the way here in one piece to discuss something that is important to all of us. And one thing that I also want to add is the fact that people, our constituents, seldom see how much work we put in things, because we're not the implementer. We are the legislator. Somebody has to implement what we appropriate funds for. And the fact that the people doesn't realize that benefit, they criticize us. Therefore, we need to work closely with them, the branches of the government, so things can flow, because we all work for the people of our respective state to realize the benefit of the work that we put in. So with that, Kalan, Mr. Speaker, and all of you speakers, President, Kuni, thank you all very much.
Kalangan, Kamakar, Speaker Nicholas Berlangwang. Let's all put our hands together for the Speaker and the delegation coming out. Okay, next up is our State of Chuuk. I would like to recognize the Honorable Lester Mersai.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Speaker, President, if I may say. I Tiro, Pairo, Watch Medicine. I would like to pay my highest respects and tiro to the traditional leaders and keepers of the land, Speaker Yamaguchi and the members of the 18th Pohnpei Legislature and staff. I tiro Speaker Philip, members of Kosrae Legislature and your delegation, tiro Speaker Figure Larwan, members of the YAP Legislature and your delegation, Shirok. President Koni of the Chuuk State Senate, members of our two houses, our delegation, Ayanaditiro. Even if they're not here present anymore, much respect to the acting governor, Chief Justice, Speaker Moses, and members of Congress, members of the Diplomatic Corps, esteemed officials and honored guests joining us, I do road. I bring warmth and humble greetings from the people of Chuuk, Lenmo, Kasalelia, Mukadin, and Raranim. As always, we give thanks and praise to our Almighty Father for all His grace, especially to our four states. It is a true privilege to be here today alongside fellow leaders, fellow colleagues, as we mark the beginning of a new chapter of our federation. On behalf of President Kori and our delegation, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our gracious host, Speaker Yamaguchi, members of the Pohnpei Legislature, traditional leaders, acting governor, and the beautiful people of Pohnpei for the warm welcome and hospitality. Much thank you to the organizers of this historic gathering. The formation of the Association of Legislature Leadership for the Unity of the States, ALL4US, is more than a simple formality. It is a powerful affirmation of our commitment to each other and to the principles of our federation. It is a testament to our shared understanding of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. More so, it is a recognition that our challenges are interconnected and that our solutions must be as well. Frankly, I think we have a better chance of solving our state and national issues than convincing our very own children to get off their phones. Our history is one of coming together, of finding common ground despite our unique cultures and geographic distances. Today, we are not just states. We are a single canoe navigating the same waters. And this association is the hand we extend to one another to steady the course. This association is a reaffirmation of that commitment. For Chuuk, as the most populous state, the issues we face are often amplified. Our economic and social needs are great, and the responsibility to our people is a heavy one. We have long sought greater cooperation and a stronger voice in the national dialogue. This is why ALL4US is so vital. It provides us with a formal platform to address our collective concerns, to advocate for equitable distribution of resources, and to ensure that the vision of a unified and prosperous FSM is realized for every citizen. Through this association, we can share best practices, as our good colleague from Kosrae mentioned, learn from each other's successes, and work through our disagreements in a spirit of mutual respect. It is through this unified approach that we can ensure our legislative bodies are not only effective, but also truly representative of the people we serve. It is important that we come together in this way as individual states. Our voice may be heard, but by joining together, we create a chorus that is impossible to ignore. Our collective strength will be our greatest asset, and our shared resolve will pave the way for a more resilient and prosperous future for the entire nation. I am confident that the work we begin today will pave the way for a more collaborative and resilient federation. Let us not only talk about unity, but actively work together to build it, brick by brick, bill by bill, or resolution by resolution. I know together we can. In Chuuk we say, "Now ewagiek, ewagang, veritas mererias." Of one mind, we work as one for us all. Before I thank everybody, if I may, to show our full commitment, please bear with me, for it will take me a while to introduce the whole delegation here with us today. So I'm truly honored to introduce to the whole body the mind, the heart, and the voice of the people of Chuuk, the Chuuk delegation present here today. And of course, as we all know, President of the Senate, the Honorable Arno Kori, Vice President of the Senate, Wisni Nakayama, to our far right, Floor Leader of the Senate, Andrew Yamamoto. as it's so hard to separate me and my colleagues. On my very left, Vice Speaker of the House, Honorable Andrew May, and to my far left, Floor Leader of the House, the Honorable Wayne Olap. Please don't feel intimidated. There's a lot of us sitting around. We're all your brothers. Members of the 18th Chuuk State Legislature. From the Senate, Senator Nelson Stephen, Chairman of Judiciary and Governmental Relations. Senator Efta Ichida, Chairman of Resources and Development, the Senate. Senator Calvin Asido, Chairman, Health, Education and Welfare of the Senate. Senator Harris Ryan, Chairman, Finance Committee of the Senate. Senator Pohnpei, Vice Chairman, Judiciary and Governmental Relations. Senator Mike Marras, Vice Chair, Finance Committee of the Senate. Representative Jesse William, Chairman, Ways and Means Committee of the House. Representative Richiosi Chipen, House Chair on JGO, Judiciary and Governmental Operations. Representative Jeffrey Irons, Chairman, Resources and Development Committee. Representative Narciso Sebastian, Chairman, Education Committee. Representative Keswick Madus, Chairman, Transportation, Communication and Public Works. Representative Greg Rafalobe, Chairman, Federal and Foreign Affairs Committee. Representative Junior Clemente, Vice Chairman, Ways and Means Committee. Representative Ignacio Stephen, Vice Chairman, Judiciary and Governmental Operations Committee. Representative Tarzan Paulus, Vice Chair, R&D Committee. Representative John Van Harry, Vice Chair, Education Committee. Representative Erat Saleh, Vice Chair, Health and Welfare Committee. Representative Ken Ruonero, Vice Chair, Federal and Foreign Affairs Committee. Representative Piche Petrus. Representative Otoko Karis. Representative Freddie David. Representative Mataichi Jacob. Representative Junior Noma. And of course, our support staff, as always. They are the ones behind the curtain, holding stronghold for the legislature. Chief of Staff of the Chuuk State Legislature, Douglas Marar. Our Deputy Legal Counselor, Ken Huera. Director of Budget, Paris Graham. Staff Attorney, Ms. Beverly Billy. Legal Aid, Ms. Rowena Wegu. The Senate Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Piche Paul. Senate PIO, Mr. R.K. Pili. Senate Secretary on Finance, Ms. Joy Van Siro. House Sergeant, Deputy Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Isam Esa. House PIO, Mr. Regis Lomongo. House Secretary on Ways and Means Committee, Ms. Angela Williams. House JGO Secretary, Ms. Joanne Nathan. House Secretary on Education, Ms. Doreen Tipero. House Secretary on R&D Committee, Ms. Krisa Koffert. Your Honorables, those are the member of your Chuuk delegation, the mind, the heart, and the voice of the people of Chuuk. Kirisho Japur.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker Lester Mersai, for the remarkable opening remark. So let's move on. Now I would like to recognize the State of Pohnpei, and Senator Carl will be representing the delegation of Pohnpei on the opening remark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And if I may, Interim President of this august body, if I may, Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, itungal sagaran kapung kay ponipan kupuran molan waulilan Pohnpei. Ipadang kupurami o wan ki tiralkan me padang chay may sang ranwat intuan padakuan waukan me mayor sang Honorable Vice Speaker. My humble respect to you, Mr. Speaker, Interim President. My humble respect to the Honorable Speaker of the Kosrae State Legislature, Honorable Philip. My humble respect to the Honorable Speaker of the Yap State Legislature, Speaker Lawan. My humble respect to Senate President Arno Coney and Speaker Lester Mersai of the House of Senate and House of Representatives of the state of Chuuk and your esteemed delegations. I think in opening remarks, everything that needs to be said has been said. I would like to echo sentiments expressed by my Vice Speaker, premised on the history of Pohnpei and the history of our respective states, which brings us together this morning. And I'm left with nothing but salutations to make, Mr. President. As stated by Honorable Speaker of Kosrae, Yap, and my brother from the state of Chuuk, that there is strength in numbers. That's why we need ALL4US. That we're at the point in our history where we need to strengthen our cooperation as states of the FSM. There are many interests that we share. There are many goals that we share. And as eloquently put by my Honorable Speaker from Chuuk, that we will deliberate and dialogue on those issues. For purposes of this moment, I think it's very important that we reflect on the historic occasion that we have this morning. I would like to say that this morning is a culmination of meetings that took place over a course of several months. Speaker Yamaguchi visiting Chuuk to meet with the Senate President and Speaker of the House of Representatives. He also visited Yap. He visited Kosrae. When he came back to Pohnpei, he informed us that there is success. Some of us were timid in believing that he has garnered the full support of our brothers in Chuuk, Yap, and Kosrae. We adopted resolutions to demonstrate the commitment of the Pohnpei Legislature. The resolution echoed the need to throughout this organization. And so I thank the leadership of our interim president, the leadership of Senate President Coney, the leadership of Speaker Mersai, the leadership of Speaker Philip, and the leadership of Speaker Trigger Nawon. Without your leadership and commitment, we won't be sitting here together this morning. I trust that the people we represent and the leadership of our respective states now have confidence that together we can address as one the needs that they have. There are many of us in this room, including myself, who doubted the creation of this organization. Before us this morning, we have a draft charter and bylaws, contents of which were agreed to in Pohnpei, in Chuuk, Yap and Kosrae. I trust that we're ready to adopt this charter and the associated bylaws. Mr. Speaker, once again, I salute you and your honorable colleague speakers, including our good President Coney. Without further ado, Mr. President, I would like to introduce the Pohnpei delegation, with whom no introduction is needed, but for purposes of our records. On my left, I would like to introduce my Honorable Vice Speaker, Senator Michael, our floor leader, Honorable Senator Abraham, my Chairman on Public Works, Honorable Chairman Laban, my Chairman on Tradition and Social Services, Honorable Chairman Edgar, and my Chairman on Climate and Environment Relations, Honorable Chairman Artu. In the gallery, Mr. Speaker or Mr. President, Honorable Chairman Perez, who chairs the committee that we refer to as the Supreme Court of the Legislature. As chairman, he serves as the Chief Justice. Honorable Senator Simon, who sits as the Vice Chair for our Committee on Education. Honorable Senator Licanet, who's the Vice Chair for the Committee on Government and Judicial and Government Operations. And our newest senator, if I may, Senator Irons. On his left, our good chairman for the Committee on Resource and Development, Chairman Edward. And on his left, our good chairman for the Committee on Land, Honorable Senator Batore. And our good chairman for the Committee on Education, to whom I don't need to introduce for our Chuuk delegation because he just returned from Chuuk, Honorable Senator Simina. Those who are not with us this morning include Honorable Senator Ned, who chairs the Committee on Health, Honorable Senator Chuuk, who also need no introduction. His work includes, among others, sports activities that are taking place in our 4 states. Honorable Senator Louis, who is the Vice Chair for our Committee on Health, and our good Vice Chairman for the Committee on Land, Honorable Senator Edmund. Mr. President, I would be remiss if I don't acknowledge the good work of our staff, with whom together they've now called the Secretariat. I would like to acknowledge she who leads the Secretariat, Mrs. Carlela Carletkar, Mrs. Leocy Edward, a special lady who is part of the Secretariat, who is also the First Lady for the next municipal government, Mrs. Edkar, our good IT, who is the Secretariat's errand boy, Mr. Harold Acambo, and our 2 sergeants who will be providing security throughout our session, Sergeant Solomon on my right and Sergeant Elio on my left. There are many other staffs who are working behind the scenes to ensure your safety, care, and comfort throughout your stay. Evident is the help that you see when you arrive at the airport. For this, I would like to extend our thanks and gratitude to the team at the Pohnpei Port Authority, and for the heads of delegates. You have drivers, among other services that we would like to extend, some of which I'm not aware of. But I would like to also thank our Department of Public Safety. I also would like to thank our Department of Finance, who is helping us ensure that all our invoices for ALL4US will be paid in due time. Mr. President, we have many people to thank, and I trust that throughout the course of the sessions, you will make time for us to give gratitude to those who we need to pay our gratitude. Last but not least, I would like to thank the choir from St. Ben, who serenaded us and reminded us of our history, to which Vice Speaker was reminded that Pohnpei is what it is today because of Kosrae, because of Yap, So Yap who brought Yap life to Pohnpei, and because of Chuuk. We have a title in Kiti called Sowaliras, who came from Chuuk. The mound that you have overlooking your airport is called Tolachong. In Pohnpei, that mound belongs to the clan of our good chairman of land. And so I say all of this to once again remind us that we are indeed one. This morning, we are not making history, we're remaking history. And I think as senators sitting in this room, we are founders of this organization. I think as ALL4US, is given life after its adoption, at least for me, I will forever be grateful to the leadership of our good speakers and the leadership of our good president of the Chuuk Senate, that you've added significance and efficacy to my tenure as a Pohnpei State Legislature. Kalangan my Mr. President, thank you for giving me the honor and privilege to introduce our colleagues this morning. Kalang.
Kalangan and Kubromi, Chairman Carl, for the wonderful remark, and thank you. Let's give a big round of applause again to the Senator and the delegation from Pohnpei. Kalangan. So I guess we're on time. And next on our agenda is lunch. But before we take a break, I would like to recognize our Secretariat if there's information that needs to be shared before we come back in after lunch break. Okay. I guess everything will be prepared by the time we return from lunch. So if there's no more statement or comment from each delegation, I would like to recognize a motion for recess. Chanchal, Kamagitiu Mayor, Trident Commalti. There's a move for motion, be seconded. So with that, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Pwuhng, say no. Motion carried. Take a break and then we'll return 1:30.